All right, guys, we are headed to my hunting lease, hunting club, my property where I hunt, whatever you want to call it. We're headed to Boone County. I've got my kiddo with me, so you may hear her in the background. Right now we just come down Loudon Heights Road. The way we're going today, the way I like to go is from my house. I like to travel through Kanawha State Forest, across the mountain. It comes out at Hernshaw. At Hernshaw, I get on Route 94 and head across the mountain to, what is that? Blooming Rose or Comfort in Boone County, where you pick up Route 3, and then Route 3 takes me to Prenter Road. You'll see all of that. I'm just giving you a heads up of what we're doing. Now, this is being filmed January 12th. So the most of the storm has already passed. It stopped snowing yesterday or the day before. As you can see, the roads are clear, but there's still, you know, anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of snow on the ground, depending on where you're at. So we're coming up to, well, you'll see the entrance to Kanawha State Forest here shortly. I just wanted to start filming early. I was just going to film from Kanawha State Forest, but my kiddo told me it'd be a better idea to start filming now so you guys can see all of this. So this is what you call Loudendale, and we're going to be in Kanawha State Forest before you know it. Right here on the left, there used to be a really, really nice house, and the way I believe I remembered it, there was a flood. The flood ruined the house. They tore it down. It's my understanding that FEMA paid for everything, and then I believe the way it works is in West Virginia, once FEMA pays out for a house, the property can never have a house put back on it due to the flood plain and flood insurance and all that stuff. Right here on the right, if you can see, I can't see if you can tell, all that green stuff is bamboo. Somebody planted bamboo, and that stuff grows like crazy. Bamboo is actually a grass, so it grows like grass. It will grow through cement, it will grow through cinder block, pavement, dirt, obviously. It's even been said that it will grow through like people's basements and houses. So you should never plant bamboo unless you put it in like a metal barrier in the ground. On the left here, there used to be a really old log cabin. I'm assuming that it was taken down in the flood too. Now this was many years ago, so I don't remember all the details, but the cabin hasn't been there for a really long time. It was like an old like Civil War aged cabin. It had been there since like the 1800s. There used to be a sign up there talking about it. I don't know if the sign's still there or not. I have no idea what the roads are going to be like going through the forest. Right now, obviously the roads are clear here. We're in two-wheel drive. We're in my truck. My truck will go really, really well in snow. It doesn't go so great in mud, and then obviously nothing goes good in ice without chains. So we shouldn't have any problems getting across the mountain. It's 32 degrees outside right now according to my truck, so it shouldn't be frozen, but we'll see. It's always great when somebody's sitting in the middle of the road. It's not a really good idea to do. All right, we are going in Kanawha State Forest, and immediately the roads look a whole lot worse. So we're going to take it easy going over here. If I have to put it in four-wheel drive, I will. It looks like maybe they've scraped the road at one point, but they didn't salt it because it is not clear at all. Now right here on the left is where the lake used to be. They actually knocked the dam down, and the lake is not a lake, it was a pond. but it is no longer there. Now it's just a stream that runs through it. They do stock it with trout. Most of the year, the only people that can fish it are children or people with a Q designation on their license, which Q is for, I believe, elderly and handicapped. I am neither of those, so I cannot fish it most of the year. But my kid can. I'm gonna try to get her on a trout this year. Oh, this road is... I kind of assumed that the road was going to be a little bit nasty. There's an awful lot of trees over here, so there didn't get a whole lot of sunlight on this road. If we start spinning, I'll put it in four-wheel drive, but otherwise I'm going to see what it does without it. A lot of people may not know this, but you can actually hunt in Kanawha State Forest. Now, there's no open big game seasons right now. Well, actually, I think the West Virginia has a heritage season. I think it ends today. The heritage season, you have to use like an old flintlock musket, black powder rifle, or a traditional bow, which would be a not a compound, like a recurve bow. So you could hunt the traditional system up to today in West Virginia, which the weird thing is, it counts towards your 2024 bag limit. So like if you killed 2 bear last year, in West Virginia you can kill 1 bear statewide, but certain counties you can kill 2. So let's say you killed 2 bear last year, that means you can't kill a bear in the traditional season because it counts towards your 2024 bag limit, but you have to buy a license for 2025 in order to hunt. I think that's one of the weird things with our license system. There's other weird things, but that's one of the weird ones. But anyways, other than that, you can hunt Kanawha State Forest. Any large game if it's in season, deer, bear. Well, really deer and bear are the only 2 large game you're going to find over here. And then obviously any small game season. We still have like rabbit season, squirrel season, all of that stuff is still open until February. I can't remember exactly when squirrel season, or rabbit season rather, goes out, but I know squirrel season goes through February. I have no idea where the road's at, so we're going to have to just guess and just make sure we don't hit people. I am going to put this in 4-wheel drive just in case we have to pass somebody again like that. That one wasn't bad, but when you get further up here, the road gets really, really narrow, and I don't want to put my truck in a ditch and not be able to get out. Typically when I come through here like right after daylight or right before dark, I see deer quite often. I don't usually see big bucks. I do occasionally see a small buck, and I usually see a whole lot of does. I've never seen a bear driving through the forest. I know they're here, but I personally have never seen one. See, I got to get over, and I don't want to be in 2-wheel drive and get stuck. I'd rather just be in 4-wheel drive and keep moving. Slow down and back off that truck a little bit. playgrounds are frozen over. All the buildings are got snow on them. I really like looking at snow. I don't really like being in the snow. Like, I would have been okay if we got some snow like this during deer season. If I can sit in a warm blind, you're not gonna catch me sitting in a tree stand or on the ground in this stuff. But if I can get to where I'm warm and sit in it and watch, that would be really nice. But I don't want to be out in the snow. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, that you're too soft. It has nothing to do with that. When I was a kid, I was forced to be out in this stuff. We would have to hunt in it. Wouldn't matter how warm or how cold it was. I've been sitting on the side of a hill like what you're looking at here next to us on the left. Absolutely freezing. It's not running down your face and it freezing to your face, which is gross enough. And that was miserable. I wasn't allowed to leave because I was a kid, and the adult that was with us wouldn't let us leave. So now as an adult, if I get miserable, I just won't do it. I've driven all the way across here over into the woods to my hunting spot. Been in the woods an hour, decide I was too cold, and then leave. So I have no problem leaving the woods if I get cold. Now on the back side of this, we just went up the hill. Here in a minute I'll show you guys. There's only one place that you can camp in Kanawha State Forest. They have an actual campground. We'll see that here in a minute. It's actually down over to our right. You just can't see it from through the trees and the snow and on camera. I'm gonna sing y'all a little song. Someone sent me a video of a guy, and I thought I'd do my version of it. Old country roads, where'd you go? 'Cause all I see is a bunch of snow. Y'all can make fun of me in the comments for the way I sing. I know I'm terrible. But I don't mind. Yeah, so down over the hill is the campgrounds. I know there's a place, they have like hookups for RVs, like sewer and water. Because I don't know if they have a hookup for sewer. I know they have like water and stuff. I know they have a dump spot for sewer, because a friend of mine come down from Rhode Island a couple years ago and parked his camper in my yard. And then before he left, we took his wastewater over here and dumped it in their sewage disposal, or whatever you want to call it. Can you see the campgrounds?
Yeah.
There's probably not anybody down there camping.
Yeah, there's an RV.
Yeah, see, my kid can see RVs down over the hill. I just can't see them from where I'm sitting. And I got to pay attention to the road. Doesn't usually take me this long to get across through here. However, with somebody in front of me, my kid with me, and all this snow on the ground, I'm not going to push my luck. Try not to make the heat noise too loud, but my feet are cold. I'm not trying to get us freezing in here. I put the heat in the floor so hopefully the camera doesn't pick it up too much. See, that sign said campground entrance next right. So up here you can see where you turn. I wonder if it's where that truck's going. Acting like he's just stopping. So yeah, right here's where you go down to the campground if you were camping here. I don't know if y'all seen that little like metal chain basket on the side of the road. They have what's called disc golf out here, which is basically you play with a frisbee and you throw it at that thing. Where it's called golf, I'm assuming that each one has like so many shots to be on par. I've never played it. I don't know a whole lot about it. The road's getting a bit nastier. Good thing is it's not slick. At least it doesn't feel that way. In four-wheel drive, my truck hasn't slipped or slid yet. This is where the road narrows down to where, I don't want to say call it a one lane, but it's pretty much a one lane. So this is where it would be not ideal to pass somebody. The good news is we got somebody in front of us, so if we see them moving over, we know to get over. One thing I like about snow is it's really easy to see deer. If they're standing there, they stick out like a sore thumb. You gotta love West Virginia. Instead of fixing roads, a lot of times they'll just put up warning signs. Like that road caved in a couple years ago, and instead of fixing it, they just put those poles in the ground with signs warning you that the road's bad right there. You alright? Are you cold? Blanket's back there if you need it. Ooh. See, this is what I don't like or don't want. I'm gonna get over here for that car to go by. There is a couple wide spots like that across the mountain to get over for people. Typically, they're not covered in 6 inches of snow. These trees look pretty like this, although it breaks a bunch of stuff down. It's kind of why I'm going today, is I've got a tree that got knocked down across my road, and I just wanted to show you guys what it looked like driving across these roads in the winter like this. I'm not spinning or slipping, just it looked like he was, so I was slowing down a little bit because I'm not trying to get all up on that truck in this weather. My truck's a 2500 diesel, so it weighs almost 10,000 pounds, whereas can't tell if that's a 2500 or not. I believe it's not. I believe it's a 1500, and they're significantly lighter. I don't know if that makes a difference in the snow. I know my truck goes like a tank through snow, but when it comes to mud, he likes to sink up. Now this feels a little slick. Again, no problem, just you wouldn't want to bring a car or two-wheel drive truck around here. Oh, dropped you guys for a second. A little bit of technical difficulties. So right up here is like, I guess you call this like the parking spot for people that hunt. You can pretty much hunt most of the places unless there's a sign up that says it's a safe zone. I see a lot of guys park here. I guess this is the beginning of several trailheads where you can walk. That's where this guy's pulling into now. Guess they're playing in the snow. We are going down the back side of the mountain now. For the most part, I'm gonna put it down in second gear and just let the truck hold us back. I don't want to use my brakes too much in this stuff. Oh, we might have a problem here. We can get around it. I've got my small electric chainsaw for little stuff, but it won't cut big stuff. And there's where you leave the forest. There's the sign that says welcome to Kanawha State Forest. I imagine during the storm the other day, I imagine this road was treacherous. I mean, it's not the best road in the world right now. It's not the best road when there's not any snow on the ground. But I bet you when it was covered, because they haven't touched this, this is just people driving through here. This is a, right there where I told you the parking spot where hunters park, that's where the pavement ends, and all this is normally gravel or dirt. Somewhere up on the mountain there was a strip job. There was so back when we were talking about the pond, the fishing pond, there was a deal made. Oh, it's right there in front of us where they cut all the top of the mountain off. There was supposed to be a deal made to where they gave them permission to strip mine it, some of it, but they had to go through and dredge the pond out to clean all the sediment and stuff out of the pond. They did the strip job, and then they refused to do the dredging of the pond. It was a big mess. I mean, if you look, it's over here. It's not the actual forest. It was on the back side of the forest. There was a big bunch of political mess to get it done, and then they didn't end up cleaning the pond out like they were supposed to. So instead, they just spent a bunch of money tearing the dam down and then creating the stream. I liked it when the trout pond was there, not just a little stream, but what do I know? Suck to have somebody come flying up through here now. All that ice hanging off the rocks there. So right here down in this ditch, one day a couple months ago, there was a bunch of turkeys down in there. I come up the road. It was during turkey season. I could have got out and tried to get after them, but it was just a bunch of hens. Now, in West Virginia for fall season, you can take hens or gobblers, but I prefer, I have in the past, but I prefer not to take hens. I'd prefer to take a gobbler. We are almost out of, well, we've been out of the forest, but we're almost back to Route 94. So funny enough, like my first date with my wife, we went, I think it was up this holler here. Her brother and her grandfather used to live down here. We went for a 4-wheeler ride, and I think we went up this holler. So when we get down here in a minute, it splits and goes back towards that coal mine. We ended up way out in the middle of nowhere on a strip job, had to come back down the main highway. They had me on a 4-wheeler where you had to hold it all the way left just to go right, like the steering was all jacked up. It was like 10 degrees out. And that was like, well, no, I think that was our second date. So yeah, this is where we hit pavement again. And you'll see there'll be houses again and stuff right down here. It's funny when you drive along these roads in West Virginia, because you'll see like the best and the worst of West Virginia. You'll see like the average house, then you'll see something like a, you know, $500,000 house, then you'll see like a $1,500 trailer. Kind of cracks me up, and that's why I don't like editing these videos a whole lot, because I want people to see the good and the bad. Now there's nothing real bad over here. You know, I have no problems with somebody living in a trailer. A lot of times I'm envious because it's probably paid off and they don't have a whole lot of bills. Yeah, you'll see a little bit of everything coming down through here. It's a big power station where the power comes in over here. I don't know if you can see them on camera, but way up in the air, there's power lines that go across there. There's big balls that go, looks like a big beach ball that's on the net, or on the wire. And I've always been told it's so that any airplane stuff coming through here don't miss those power lines. I don't know why an airplane would ever be that low. I can understand a helicopter being that low in case it was, you know, health net or something like that. But supposedly the balls are there so that helicopters and airplanes can see that there's a power line so they don't run through it. Which makes sense. Just like I said, the thing that doesn't make sense is an airplane should not be that low. Alright guys, we're coming up to the end here. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the video here. Some of you may see an extended video. Some of you may see this. I'm probably going to do individual videos for the different segments. So if you're watching this and it cuts off here, check the channel, because you'll see the next step of the road in the next video. But this road right here is Route 94. This goes from Marmet all the way over into Boone County, where it picks up on Route 3. All right, guys, what you're looking at now, this is Route 94. We're at Hernshaw. We are getting ready to turn back towards Boone County. We take it out of 4-wheel drive. So these roads are clear. If you're just now picking up on this, there may be a couple versions of this video out here. I just came across the mountains, Kanawha State Forest, so I cut the video there. If you want to see the video coming across Kanawha State Forest, just check the channel. You'll see that up there. I've got a couple different channels that I run. Some of them will have a full video showing everything, and then one channel may have, you know, video for each different segment of the trip. The sun is really bright here. pick that up on camera how bright it is or not, but it is super bright. Right here next to this gas station, my buddy Reggie has his barbershop. It's called R, like the letter R, Barbershop. So if you need a haircut, come and check out Reggie's barbershop. They've done a pretty good job getting this cleared. My wife and I come out here the day the snowstorm started. When we left the house, it had just started snowing. It wasn't, it wasn't nothing. And by the time we got over here, I mean, it was already a downpour. Ground was already covered completely. But as you can see now, the roads are perfectly clear. Really not even as much snow on the trees over here as there was going through Kanawha State Forest. Kanawha State Forest, the trees were all like weighed down from the snow. I'm not 100% sure where the Boone County line starts at. We'll have to look. I want to say it's once we top the mountain, but I can't remember exactly. Or we may already be there. I can't remember. So we're either in Kanawha County or Boone County. We're almost at the top of the mountain where it turns on to Nellis Road. I think it's Ashford Nellis Road or Nellis Ashford Road. Apparently here at the top of the hill there used to be like a small little restaurant or bar or something. Okay, yeah, so Boone County starts right here. So it's Ashford Nellis Road. And I saw a post on Facebook the other day and somebody took a picture of this and was asking if anybody remembered. Apparently there was a small bar right there on that white spot. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but if you're from this area, you know what I'm talking about. Now, I didn't start coming to Boone County till like 2015. I had a friend at the time that lived over here and they invited me to join a hunting club. I joined. I was a member for a couple years. That person moved away and then I took over the hunting club. So it's been my hunting club since 2017, I think is when it, maybe 2018 when it officially became my club. So I didn't know much about the area till then. Still don't know a whole lot about it. It just, what you see, this is where I travel. So on the video today, you're going to see as far as I go on the normal basis. Now, I've been further into Boone County, but not on a regular basis. And I've always been told at one point when the coal mines were booming, that Boone County, West Virginia, was the richest county in West Virginia. But if you look down through here now, it doesn't seem that way. It's, you know, one of the more poor counties. You get anywhere into southern West Virginia, most of these counties are pretty poor. I grew up in southern West Virginia, but I grew up in southeastern West Virginia. So I grew up in Fayette County, not too terribly far from Fayetteville and the New River Gorge Bridge. It's funny though, I told my wife one day that if anybody ever asks me where I'm from, I always say I'm from Fayette County. But if you do the math, I've now lived in Kanawha County with her longer than I ever lived in Fayette County. And my kids will always say Kanawha County is their home. That's where they were born and raised. But I will always represent Fayette County. Alright, so this is the split on where 94 meets Route 3. If you go right there, that takes you across Drawdy Mountain to Madison. And if you go left, it towards Whitesville. Now, we're definitely not going to Whitesville. Nothing coming. Yeah, school bus. We go past the school up here. 2 of them. You want to go to school in Boone County? I've always wanted to, if you've watched any of my previous videos that I do like this, I've always said that I wanted to like drive around and take pictures of every church in West Virginia, but I don't think I have that enough years left in my life, even if I live to 150, to get pictures of every church in West Virginia. But it would be cool. I think maybe what the better plan would be to do would be to like do some research, find out like the most historical or the coolest looking church in each county, and just get like one church from every county is something I think would be pretty cool. Maybe that's a plan for 2025. I'd like to go get a picture of every courthouse, like every city, every county seat, and then a picture of like just a church from every county in West Virginia. So right there is the Racine Park. I think this summer I'm going to come down. I was told that in the river right here behind the park, that's a good place to catch muskies. I am going to catch a muskie in 2025. That is one of my personal goals for my outdoor stuff. And I've been told right there behind the park is a good place to catch them. The river is the Coal River. I've only fished a little bit of the Coal River up here. There's a little country store, and I fished. There's a spot where you can drive down to. I've only fished it right there just as a, you know, killing time, waiting on somebody. You know, I've met a lot of people having this hunting club, So occasionally I'll come down early and fish while I'm waiting for them to get here, or after I show it to them, I'll come down and fish a little bit on my way home. And I've not caught anything. I've seen a lot of bass, some carp, but I've never caught anything. And then there's a creek that runs up Prenter called Hopkins Fork. They stock Hopkins Fork, and I do trout fish it, and I have caught trout. Yeah, you can't see the Coal River, but it's down here to our right. I'd like to get my John boat down there this summer and fish some of it. Or get a kayak. It might be better to kayak this river, because there's some stuff it's ankle deep. I think I need a nap. Now, I don't know if y'all can see it on camera, but when I was joking about those like $500,000 houses, right here on the right, there's like a family compound, and all those houses are crazy nice over there. The guy that owns the property, yeah, that was the new one they just built. The guy that owns the property owns a trucking company down here. So you guys, right here on the right, this is what's called V-Mart. V-Mart makes the absolute best pepperoni rolls. Now, they are a bit greasy, and I mean greasy. However, they are fantastic. But if I'm being honest, they're probably more like what you would call a calzone than a pepperoni roll, because it's really, really thick with cheese and pepperoni. And then what they call a calzone is actually what my kiddo likes. The calzone is, it's almost like two thin crust pizzas, and in the middle filled with like sausage and pepperoni and cheese and stuff. So what they call a calzone is really just like a stuffed pizza.
They also have little chunks of ham in it.
Yeah, it has a bunch of meat, but it's like it's between two slices of thin crust pizza.
It's so good.
We will probably stop on the way back and grab some. Alright guys, so we don't have a whole lot further until we turn off on Prenter Road. So here shortly you're going to see Sherman High School. We just passed Sherman Elementary. So up here is Sherman High School, which we'll get there in just a second. Water company out. So there's a state road. You would think this would be clear because the state road's right there. They've got salt and everything else. All right, so right up here is Sherman High School on the right. They got a big football field back there. I know not a lot of high schools have nice football fields anymore. Theirs seems to be pretty decent for single A high school in West Virginia. So this is actually what you call Seth, West Virginia. Like the guy's name, Seth. Right here's the country store. Now you can't see it because of all those snow piles, but there's a road that goes down to the river right there. And that's normally where I'll go down and fish. But the road is blocked with all those big snow piles. And then right up here is where you turn on Prenter Road, and it would not shock me if Prenter was not treated. So the road could be nasty again once we turn up Prenter. So it's called Seth-Prenter Road. Ah, no, it's clear. Figured this road would be covered. They've done a good job clearing it. So here on the left is Hopkins Fork Church. It's called Hopkins Fork Community Church. Can't see the creek. It's off to my left behind all these houses and trailers. But it's the creek I was talking about where they stock trout. I've caught trout a couple times. That reflection is bright. Now this road actually, if you follow this road, it actually goes up to the mouth of the holler and then across what I think is called Williams Mountain, and it goes back into like Madison. So you can go all the way around this and go to Chapman, or not Chapmanville, but Madison. I've only done it one time. A guy that I know that has been a member of my club, he come up with his brush hog and cleared a bunch of stuff for me, and we had a piece broke on the brush hog. We had to go all the way back to his house, and that's the way we went, across the mountain and down that way. We aren't real far now from my hunting lease. About 1:30, so we still got 4 hours before dark. I'm not planning on being up there that long. I just need to go up here. Really, it's just because I want to get some video of the road going up there, because I know the road's probably pretty rough. And then I've got a tree that I want to clean up that fell over. And I've got a trail camera that I want to check the pictures on. there's a curve coming up here that I always have to tell myself to slow down, because the curve, not this one, the curve doesn't seem like it's that bad, but this curve gets, it's long. And I come up here one day, well, you see where there's snow in the road here. I come up here one day and I'll show you.
Is this the curve?
Yeah. So right here past that pole, on the right, there was a car laying on its side down over in the ditch. I guess they come around there too fast. Now the weather wasn't anything like this, so I think they just missed the curve. So I always take my time in that curve because I'm worried about going off that hill right there. There really should be a guardrail there. And then I guess they stopped treating the road right down there, because now this is getting bad. This is what I thought the whole road would look like. Time to put it back in four-wheel drive. Sometimes I don't mind playing in two-wheel drive, but my kid's with me and I'm not taking a chance on sliding and hitting something. And this road's really too curvy to be playing. Can't see what's coming around the curve, so better to just stay in four-wheel drive. So you got four tires digging, so you don't get slipping out and slide into somebody. With the brakes. Remember, if you can downshift instead of using your brakes in this snowy and slushy stuff. Downshifting is always going to be better than using your brakes. Actually warmed up a little bit since we've been driving. My truck did say it was 32 out there. Now it's up to 34.
It's supposed to get up to 40 degrees.
That bridge we just went across goes across Hopkins Fork, and I've been told that that bridge is where they start stocking from there up. I've never caught fish there at the bridge, but there's a couple holes up past my club that I've caught fish before. All right, so no one has been up the road since the snow. There's animal tracks. The neighbors over there have dogs that come up here all the time. All right, guys, that's the end of this part of the video. If you want to see the next part, check out the channel, because we're going to show going all the way up to the top of the hill if we can make it.